some breaking news right now, pursuit of a stolen vehicle.
Well, take a look at that. It's going pretty quick right now. Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with more. Des, we know this started in Lakewood, right?
Oh, yeah, really dangerous one here, Leslie and Susie, as we are flying along rush hour traffic northbound 110 through Exposition Park on the right-hand shoulder at 60 miles an hour. So this began with LA County Sheriff's deputies, we believe, from Lakewood, but they actually canceled this one. It might have been getting pretty dangerous, but the helicopter, they wanted to get CHP involved in this. They did not want to see the suspect get away. This is really, really crazy. Now, CHP was trying to catch up. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to at this point. We just got to almost 80 miles an hour, and we know how that 110 can be really slammed as you're getting into downtown LA. Just like getting all over the place right now. I haven't heard about any crashes, but boy, at the rate we're going, it almost just seems like a matter of time. So we're coming up to the 110 and the 10 interchange getting into downtown. CHP possibly trying to get into place. An air unit from LA County Sheriff's deputies that was overhead. And this suspect, very, very desperate here. That is for sure. Susie, Leslie, Mike.
All right, let's go to Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, what are you hearing?
Yeah, so we're listening to CHP. CHP units on what's called the White, which is the South Los Angeles office. They were almost in position. One unit had eyes on them. And like Desmond mentioned, because of the nature of the way this guy is driving, those units were not able to fully catch up. They are coming into what is called the black frequency. That is the downtown Los Angeles area. Those units are getting into position right now. We have heard on the radio, and you saw from Desmond right there, looks like only one person in the car. It is the driver. Again, Sheriff's Department Lakewood unit started this chase and then relinquished it when it had gone on for too long, according to the airship. That airship did not give it up, got CHP involved. They're trying to get in position, and as this guy comes into the downtown area, the 110 coming up on the 10 freeway, they are going to hit really heavy traffic as they're going through this area. And this guy is desperate to get away. He has been going very fast on the shoulders, as you saw when we first came onto this. He has been doing that all since he got on the freeway. And unfortunately, if he's looking to get away, the 110 into the 10 is not the right spot to do that. The good news, though, is that those CHP units are ahead of him at this point from Central Los Angeles' office, and they're getting in position to get behind him and try to bring this to an end. And again, this is a reported stolen SUV here that law enforcement is trying to chase, as he really wants to try to kind of push through those two cars there.
Squeeze through, Mike.
And it's just simply too hard, Mike. If you've been in this traffic, you know it is bumper to bumper. It doesn't move, and you're going through the downtown area here. You wonder if the person's going to try to get on the 10, but frustrating when you're in that traffic, and you could imagine, obviously, the frustration if you're trying to get away with a possibly alleged stolen vehicle there.
And going this fast, you know, on the right-hand shoulder when there is clearly lots of traffic, and you never know when someone's just going to make a sudden, you know, move, and going as fast as this person is going is such a dangerous situation. But this is how they have been driving. I want to go back to our Desmond Shaw. Desmond, you had mentioned that this was on earlier with the LA County Sheriff's Department, the Lakewoods station, but they had to back off. Was it because of the dangerous driving that had happened?
You know, we actually didn't hear that detail, if that was the reason why they did that, because I had actually heard the air unit saying that it looked like that the suspect was kind of slowing down when I heard the watch commander cancel that, as we now just transition to the eastbound 10, as you saw, just kind of muscling their way through cars right there. But certainly very dangerous driving now. So, you know, I didn't hear anything about really crazy speeds or anything. It was on surface streets when they canceled it, and then we hear the suspect get on the 105 and then the northbound 110 before we finally picked it up. And I mean, this guy's kind of driving this vehicle like it's a little Mazda Miata or like a sports car, and it's definitely not. This is a big hulking SUV right here. Maybe not hulking, but certainly a full-size SUV that the suspect is driving. It looks like we're going to be getting off the freeway here. So now just south of downtown. Well, here we go into downtown. Let's see what the suspect's going to do as we're making a turn here onto Maple. It might be going, is this a one-way street? Might be going the wrong way. Let's see. No, it was not a one-way, but they're coming out, blasting right through this intersection. And so now we're getting into downtown LA, and we know how things can go when we're talking about getting right here. So we will continue to monitor this as long as we can, but yeah, it's going to get really difficult for us and for the sheriff's deputy helicopter as well, for sure, with all these buildings. And right on cue there, they go right through our shop. And they're the only ones monitoring this one. There is no one on the ground currently behind this suspect. And as we know, you know, things can definitely get dicey when we get towards downtown LA.
So, Mike, Arrow is overhead right now, the LA County Sheriff's helicopter. Any word on the CHP?
So the sheriff's helicopter just said the units were real close to catching up on him and closing in on him. Here's my concern, though, since they are not officially in pursuit yet, trying to get a hold of them. 9 times out of 10, the sergeants don't like to chase on surface streets.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I have not heard it's called an S unit, the SAM unit. I've not heard them say don't get involved. And it sounds like these units are really close. There's a close call there through the intersection at LA Street and Olympic. We'll see. There's an LAPD unit, ironically enough. We'll see if CHP is allowed to get involved in this. I have not heard them say that they can't. But those units had probably get a better close in quickly. Otherwise, the air unit is going to lose them through the buildings down here.
And this happens quite often, doesn't it? It gets tricky around here.
Oh, it gets very tricky around here. It gets tricky for us. It gets tricky for law enforcement. It's very difficult because, the helicopters do orbits, and you only have a very small sliver to see. So as you're orbiting or even flying, when they make those turns or stops and you have to orbit, this is what happens. And there's a parking garage, Des?
I think here, if you scoot east, I think he just went into this garage right here. Yeah, and in fact, we just heard the sheriff's up here asking. He's backing out. Wow.
Maybe the garage
looks
is
like
closed.
that might
Maybe
have been a pretty decent place, but yeah, maybe so. But regardless, and now now he's definitely losing some time. This could be an opportunity for units to gain some ground if they did want to come and move in on this suspect, but instead he gets out of that dead end. So, kind of aimless. Does this guy have any idea what he's doing as he goes on the wrong side there and now northbound on Maple Avenue? So, we're kind of close to Skid Row, but some of the districts where we could have a lot of pedestrians out here as well. We're not too far away from Little Tokyo and the Arts District, just flying through these intersections right here and on the kind of eastern perimeter of where all the big tall buildings are. But lots of parking garages here, definitely the bane of helicopter law enforcement. When it comes to these pursuits, he makes a westbound turn onto 6th Street, so kind of now back towards.
Wrong way?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think he is going the wrong way here. Yes, 6th Street does, I believe, just go east now. A northbound turn onto LA Street. So, this is definitely getting pretty tough right now. Let me send it back to you right now for a second,
if you're
Mike.
just joining us here on SkyCal News at 6, you're watching a live pursuit happening right now. The CHP tracking a stolen vehicle and the LA County Sheriff's Department tracking it from their helicopter overhead. This person just getting off the freeway and onto surface streets in downtown LA, obviously making it much more difficult for those who are overhead, including us. But, Mike, it's been incredible that, when they were going down that one-way street, there were no other cars coming the other way.
Yeah, they got really lucky because in downtown LA, that doesn't usually happen.
At this
I'm just
hour?
listening to the sheriff's helicopter here. They're still trying to get those CHP units in place. The problem is CHP is not going to drive like this guy's driving, right? So they're going to try to, do their best to do the rules of the road and not put anybody in harm's way trying to catch up to this guy. This guy does not have any interest in, anybody else's safety, really, it seems at this point as we go through Main and 2nd here in downtown LA. So hopefully those CHP units will be able to catch up. We had hoped that they were going to make up some time when we thought he was going to go into that garage, and I don't know if that garage gate was closed or something, but he turned back around, and I was hoping CHP was going to be able to kind of get him at that point, but that didn't happen. And we're approaching, I believe this is going to be the 101 here. So we're actually getting close to being out of the downtown area.
Wow.
Very close there.
Wow.
In passing near City Hall, right, Des?
Yeah, right by City Hall, and ironically, we were right by LAPD's headquarters as well. As let's see if they're going to be getting on the 101, but kind of weird to have just come through downtown and gone through all of that and still, sticking with this one. Almost certainly would have thought that they would go and just ditch the vehicle. Yes, Arcadia and Spring is where they're at right now, so we're right there paralleling the 101, and now backing up here really fast. He did not like being stopped. Doesn't like the idea, I think, of giving the authorities any opportunity to catch up, even though they are not behind him on the ground still, making a wrong turn right there as we now head on to Main Street, so kind of towards Chinatown right now, leaving downtown Los Angeles, probably for the better, get away from some of these pedestrian areas anyway, but really just definitely seeing a lot of crazy maneuvers here, a little wrong side of the road. He was in the bike lane there for a little bit, backing up at like 30 miles an hour, definitely scary stuff now over onto Cesar Chavez. So just kind of around the perimeter of downtown, onto the sidewalk and into the parking garage here. Just anything they could do to get away from this traffic. Cuts off a cyclist right there with this full-size vehicle, and just, you know, the way that suspect jerking the wheel back and forth and stuff like this, you know, with a vehicle this tall and getting out of the way of a scooterist right there. Yeah, you can see how nerve-wracking this is getting. A lot of people out here, rush hour traffic, and a lot of pedestrians and cyclists and scooterists, and a lot of people out here in a ton of danger.
Well, as far as we know, this started in the Lakewood area, the Lakewood Sheriff Station, pursuing this car, and then they actually stopped. Again, Mike, do we have any reason why? It could have been because they were driving too recklessly.
So I'm working on getting some clarification because I actually heard the same exact thing I heard on, I don't remember what day it was, sometime last week when they got rid of a pursuit as well. And it sounds like it's the same TFO, Technical Flight Officer. So when he requested CHP to get involved, he said, because of our department policies and the length the pursuit has been going.
Yep.
Now, that is new to me. I've not heard that reason for giving up a chase, just essentially a period of time. So I'm trying to check with the Sheriff's Department to see if that's a new type of policy, but you're right. Usually when they get rid of it, it's speed, it's driving, it's the want is not that serious. This is the first time, and it's now twice in a week that I have heard the airship say, we're giving this up because of our department policy and how long it's been going. That is new for me. So I'm trying to sort out kind of what that means. But the sheriff's ship, it sounds like, again, it's the same flight officer.
Oh, they're going the wrong way.
Another reverse.
Yep, another dead end right there, and back out on the street. So it's obviously, it's just totally aimless here. The suspect clearly does not know where they're at. This is the second time now that this has happened, and there doesn't really seem to be any kind of a plan here. And again, I mean, you're just endangering so many people right now, really for no reason, when there's no ground units behind this guy. I mean, I'm sure, you know, he doesn't like having that helicopter overhead, but we've got to get this suspect out of this vehicle at rush hour here. We've just had so many close calls as it is, as we're now heading back towards downtown. Definitely don't want to see that southbound on Figueroa, but and then making the turn back onto Cesar Chavez. So back out onto this and just around the perimeter downtown, right near the 4-level interchange.
Yeah, so this is a pursuit of a stolen vehicle. You know, it makes us wonder, though, as this person is not giving this one up.
Oh, my goodness.
And as desperate as this person is, going on the wrong side of the road at this hour with this much traffic, and traffic clearly coming onto them,
right in front of the
but still
cop.
driving, you know, this way, it makes me wonder if there's so much more to this than a stolen car.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that he is probably wanted for something more than just the theft of this car, the way that he is driving. Now, I thought for a second CHP may have gotten a unit behind it because they did what they call putting air on the clearance, which means they're restricting the radio traffic to the person that is involved in a pursuit. So they did that, which usually means that there's a unit behind it. The problem is then he went wrong way, so that unit may not have been able to go with him that way. I did briefly see a motorcycle officer to the right of him as well with their lights and sirens on. So we're getting closer. CHP did play the game of, well, does LAPD want to take it? And that didn't materialize in anything. LAPD probably wants nothing to do with this at all, even though it is on surface streets in their area. But we are just going so fast on these surface streets now through the Echo Park area. At least we are out of downtown where the tall buildings are not going to be a problem. At least the helicopter is going to be able to maintain visual on him now. Again, as we close call on the wrong side of the road, they're trying to get around traffic.
I mean, how many close calls was that? You know, I mean, every time they go through an intersection, blow through an intersection, go around to go on the wrong side of the road, it seems like they are getting so lucky and getting so close to hitting the car, but they don't, thank goodness. But, you know, really taking some drastic measures tonight, so you got to believe that this person is definitely desperate to get away, right, Desmond?
Oh, yeah, and I'm just kind of relieved that we're getting away from Echo Park Lake as well, because that's obviously a huge destination with a lot of people out there walking at this time of the day, and this guy just doesn't care. What are you doing now? Okay, making a U-turn here. Just this guy cannot handle being stopped for more than 2 seconds. Just really, it sounds like, is that a ground unit, Chris? Okay, he may have seen some LAPD units here. I wonder if maybe they are going to get involved, because I mean, it's clearly we're at the point now where just anyone that's out there on patrol is going to see this guy driving like a maniac and want to get, like, you know, wonder what is going on with this. I mean, this has probably been radioed over from sheriffs or CHP as well. So let's see if LAPD, has any interest in getting this person off of the street. There were a couple of units down there.
Wow.
No!
Oh, there's the.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And look at that. Just ridiculous. Could have ditched this car so long ago, and instead comes in and gets in a crash. 2 SUVs. Fortunately, it was kind of a glancing blow, and the suspect is now out. So they out of the passenger side too. So yeah, they're out. At least the danger is over. I hope those people will be okay. It was a newer SUV, probably good safety equipment with that car. Now just kind of out here trying to blend in now that they've gotten away.
Afternoon
as
stroll.
we are on Glendale and Park Avenue. And yeah, hands in his pocket and just kind of,
and not
just out
even
here
knowing,
strolling around. Here we go.
No regard for whether that
They're gonna get him
person is
now.
okay or not in the other car. They glanced back for just a second and said, "Oh boy." But it looks like the CHP units are now. Yep, they caught up with him finally, and looks like the CHP is the one who's going to be taking this person down. But again, this started with the LA County Sheriff's Department, Lakewood Station, with a stolen car, and we do believe there could be a lot more going on than a stolen car because of the way this person was driving recklessly, not only on the right shoulder of the freeway or on the shoulders of the freeway at high rates of speed at peak traffic hour. It was just incredible to see this person flying by other cars with no regard, and then getting onto surface streets on the right-hand side is what you're seeing there. First in the downtown area, and then here, after passing through Echo Park, this is what we just saw, them trying to clear an intersection, but sort of losing control of the car and kind of fishtailing back and forth, and that's when they hit that one car, trying to go in between two, and then the suspect just getting out casually, running a little bit in the beginning, and then realizing probably that he probably shouldn't be running, probably looking a little more casual to not seem so guilty to police. And there he just started walking on the sidewalk, and the CHP takes over.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, certainly a terrible, terrible day for the woman driving that car that was hit by by the suspect vehicle there right here. I was worried that was going to be so much worse, though. Not to diminish at all what she went through, because I'm sure it was very traumatic, but I for sure thought that was going to be a far worse collision. The way this guy was driving, just his total disregard for anybody that is on the road at all, the wrong side of the road. I'm glad he's in custody, and I'm glad this woman wasn't hurt more than she was.
We were holding our breaths how many times throughout this pursuit, so it looks like the CHP and maybe a Good Samaritan is helping to push that car out of the intersection so that they can clear that for traffic to go by. But boy, as Mike was just saying, what a scary afternoon for this person who, unknowingly, was trying to cross this intersection and then gets crashed into by someone who was running away from police, and looks like more people are joining that effort and helping them push that car.
Sorry, Susan, I just want to interrupt real quick because I think, Des, we're going to lose you, right? You got a TFR?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, the Dodger TFR coming into effect. So, we were right kind of on the edge of that. We've got to get out of here before. Yeah, totally. I mean, boy, I was definitely holding my breath there, the way that guy was going. It's amazing that they didn't take out a pedestrian or a cyclist or something out there. That was definitely scary for the two people involved, but it looks like they were okay, definitely shaken up. Ended up just kind of being more of a glancing blow than anything. So just, boy, scary afternoon, but it's over, and just glad that maniac is off of the roadway there as we show you a little view here of the Echo Park area, flying away to flee the Dodger flight restricted area.
Desmond, thank you so much, and your crew in SkyCal. To other news.